everyone. I'd like to talk to you about Elul and elephants. In the 20th century, a very popular form of family entertainment for kids and adults alike was the circus. Circus would travel to the town, stay a week or two in a particular place, and then move on to the next town. While in the town, the way the circus would contain their animals, and particularly the elephants, was in a unique form. They would put a peg in the ground. To the peg was attached a metal chain. At the end of the metal chain was a cuff, and they would cuff the leg of the elephant to the chain, and the elephant would just kind of travel around the stake, never really wandering too far off, just within the circumference, the parameter of the stake. A question that people might sometimes ask is, how come the elephant, a strong, big animal, never broke the metal chain? And the answer is because when the elephant was first born, not yet physically mature and physically developed and strong, so they would cuff the animal and they would stake it to the ground, and the elephant was unable to break the chain. And the elephant became conditioned to believe that it's never able to break the chain. And therefore, even if it was, as it got older and matured physically, it never attempted to break the chain because it just assumed that it's an impossibility. That's the background for the idea I'd like to share with you. In 1944, July 6, 1944, the United States is engaged in World War II. Therefore, supplies in the United States are short. Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus is traveling. They're in Hartford, Connecticut. And in order to waterproof their tent, because there were supplies lacking in the United States, so what they did was they took wax. They took gasoline, they melted the wax, and with the melted wax and gasoline mixture, they smeared it all over the tent. July 6, 1944, Hartford, Connecticut, somehow, not exactly sure if it was arson, if it was a mechanical fire, a flame caught somewhere by the big tent. The circus people quickly got wind of it. They started to play the Stars and Stripes, which is the signal to all the circus workers to go into emergency mode. They start to clear the animals and the people. And because the tent was laden with gasoline and wax, it caught fire very quickly. 8 to 10 minutes and everything was already a burning blaze. There were no animals on that day that were killed. However, the circus did suffer a casualty, and the casualty the circus suffered was the elephants. As the heat spread with the fire, it got closer and closer to the elephants. And the elephants, as a natural reflex from the extreme heat, began to walk backwards. And although they were tethered, they recoiled from the heat, and eventually they broke that chain. Once they broke that chain, the animals were never able to be chained again. Once they realized that they're free, it was impossible to chain them again. So they became caged in some zoo afterwards, but they were never able to travel with the circus anymore. The circus had to invest in new elephants. A lot of times we're elephants. We think that we're unable to do something. We've been conditioned to believe that this is not me. It's true in life, whatever it may be, a career or a job opportunity, and it's true particularly in our case, I'd like to speak about in our Avodas Hashem. Whether it be tefillah, whether it be Talmud Torah, whether it be a particular mitzvah that we think we've attempted this, it didn't go. I've tried it more than once. It's never going to go. It's not me. We're chained. We can't go further than this. This is it. This is what I'm capable of doing. And sometimes it's really just our imagination. The month of Elul, as we're looking to a new beginning, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is coming, the month of Elul should give us a sense of urgency. We should feel a certain fire. We should feel a certain heat. What am I going to do with my time? What am I going to do with my year next year? It should be a certain urgency, a certain sense of fire, and that fire should help us break that chain. Whatever it was that during the year there's a certain monotony that sets in and a certain habituation, and we're just kind of going natural. The gears are there, and we're not doing anything particularly different. But now, as we're coming to the new year, and we feel a sense of urgency, and we want to do more with our lives, hopefully we'll recognize, let's use this month of Elul to try. You know what, maybe I wasn't successful in the past with this particular area. This mitzvah, that mitzvah, whatever it is. This behavior, that behavior. But you know what, I want to try again. Maybe it's just my imagination holding me back. Most likely, it's just my imagination holding me back. The urgency of Elul is a fire that should hopefully set us free, break the chain, and may we be never tamed again. May we realize that all of the chains that we have in our lives are really just imaginations. And if we try a little bit more, we'll be able to break free and excel in our avodas Hashem and in all areas in life. Hatzlacha Rabba, Chodesh Tov, Shana Tova, Shana Tova Metuka.